all shields up. Welcome or welcome back to the channel. Elevate your energy. It's Jazzy, your favorite Cali reader and spiritual consult. So, oh man, we have a what do we have coming up? A full moon tomorrow. Matter of fact, from when I'm recording this, we have a full moon tomorrow. That's going to be actually in the sign of Virgo, um, based on Vedic astrology, which is actual stars in the sky where the constellations are actually located at that time. Is going to be in the sign of Virgo. So for my Virgos, okay, Aries is in my North Node, so it's like Aries season with the it's a lot. So if you know, you know. If you have Virgo placements, Aries placements, you may want to check out where those placements are most active in your birth chart. Okay, so let's get into this. I'm gonna do I'm guided to do two categories today. I mean three categories today, which is basically the theme for this week ahead. When you're seeing this reading, my readings as always are timeless unless otherwise specified. But when I so happen to be recording this is um, during the full moon in Aries, in Aries season, but stars in the sky are actually in the sign of Virgo. And so we're going to do overall theme, opportunity, and potential challenge, or challenge and then opportunity. I think we should do it like that. So, yeah, let's get into this. So, I like to call upon my spirit team, my most benevolent, most adept spirit team, guides, ancestors of the highest white light. Let's come through. Support me being a clear, open channel for messages that we have for the collective today, for our highest and greatest good only and nothing less. So let's get into this. I hope you all are doing well. Hope you guys are really staying as grounded as you possibly can. There's a lot of changes, a lot of things that are happening at this time, as always, but it just feels like when I say it, it feels like it's on another level. It feels next level to me. So I'm not sure how this is all affecting everyone else at this time, but for me personally, it just feels like it's an upgrade. There's a level up happening. There's definitely been a shift in the timeline as well, as you know, the split continues, right? Um, that in itself has been difficult, right? The connections that have been returning for me, but also ones that have been falling away. It's very, very interesting. So the overall theme right now is leg up. Okay, so it's interesting that this card is my life path number 34, which reduces to a 7. So some of you, the number 34 may be significance. This could be like how old you're turning this year, or some of you might be 34. That may be a number that you're seeing often. Okay, but a leg up is this week's theme energy. Okay, so it feels like some of you may be finally feeling like you're being supported, like you're finally getting the help that you need. I feel like some of you have been really kind of like crying out for help, like feeling like the universe is fucking ignoring me, like what the fuck, you know? And it's like you're finally getting the support that you've been asking for. It feels like some of you are really um I feel like some of you, and it's only coming through like this because I feel like I've been feeling like this as well, is that even those of us, especially those of us that are like millennials, okay, um you would think by our age that we would have it figured out, we would have it together, right? But a lot of us don't. And I'm realizing that, like me personally, based on my human design, I'm not supposed to have my shit really together till my 50s. You know, and I'm just like, bruh, been thinking this whole time I'm running out of time, like I'm behind, but really I'm way ahead of my time. So some of you may be feeling like you're like a fish out of water. You may be feeling like you were kind of like a toddler in this world right now, and it's because you really are, right? Don't be down on yourself. Do your best to give yourself grace um, during this time of becoming more aware of what it is you really don't know. Okay, I feel like a lot of us are embodying spirit. What is the challenge at this time? What is the challenge for the collective this week? Um, it feels like some of you are really, like I said, like a fish out of water. Um, it's like things are really, it's like the things are so new. Like some of you are really not only embracing a new timeline, but a new version of yourself that is on this timeline, right? And it feels like you're kind of like, I don't like, it's like foreign to you. It feels like some of you are really in this space, in this energy of your journey where it feels really foreign, where things are very unfamiliar, things are very fresh and very new. Okay, so like I said, do your best to remember and keep in mind that you're embodying a version that you have not been before. Okay. So that means that it's going to take you time to adjust. It's going to take you time to calibrate to maybe a new environment for some of you. Some of you are switching environments, but others of you are having, like, getting support coming in from places that you have not had it from before, right? Or receiving opportunities that is going to help um, like progress your life forward in some type of way that you haven't, experienced before, right? So it's like you're finally getting some type of support that you really need at this time. Okay, so let's see, Spirit, what is a challenge? Okay, so challenge for the collective is here and now. Okay, and the fan, I feel like the my fan is blowing, so it just the way it happened, I feel like it flipped it in reverse, so I'm gonna read it up right. Um, but the card 32, which reduces to a 5. Okay, so fives represent change, and we're talking about the challenge, right? So some of you may be feeling really challenged right now this week, with doing your best to be present. Okay, I feel like it's really important to do your best to be as present in this moment as much as possible. Moment to moment, be as present as you possibly can, because in the present, which is, the current moment, is the gift, right? That's where the door opens for the solution that you're looking for. That's where the door of opportunity lies, right? That's where the support that you're looking for, the leg up that some of you have been asking for, that's when you have to be present enough to see it, to be, available, right? It's just literally the same as, like, let's say you're getting a delivery, right? And you have to be home to sign for it, right? I used to work at UPS years ago, and as a package center supervisor, and so there were certain, back then at least, like certain deliveries, like let's say cell phones, that was a big thing that came up missing. Even some of the drivers used to steal shit. It was crazy. But there, at one point, like I said, that was required, where certain, like, for example, if you're getting a new phone from T-Mobile, right, they would specifically send it and you would have to sign for it, or the driver was not allowed to leave that package there. And so some of you, this is kind of like what the universe is doing, where you're really being asked to be present, so you're available to receive whatever it is when it comes. Some of you have to be there. You have to be there to get it, otherwise you're going to miss it, right? So some of you are really going to feel challenged this week to really do your best to be present, to not focus too much in the past and not too far in the future, right? When we focus too much in the past, that produces a lot of anxiety, or no, depression, I'm sorry. That produces a lot of depression. That's what makes us depressed. We're too focused on what already happened, what we can't fix, what we feel like, we lost out, missed out on, whatever it is, right? And if we focus too far in the future, that's what creates anxiety, right? This anticipation of what we don't know, what is unknown, what is uncertain, what is not even taking place yet, right? So the best, most beneficial thing you can do, right, is do your best to be in the present moment. That's where the gift is. That's where your opportunity lies, is when it's presented, you're able to receive it. And you have to, and the only way to do that is to really be present, right? It's like you don't really know if not is still gonna bring in what you asked for, right? So it's like, just do your best to be as present as you possibly can. Okay, that's why it feels like this is coming up for us as the challenge this week, is because, especially by force of habit, I get it, but a lot of us spend a lot of time in the past to the future, because that's what we are conditioned to do, right? And that's why it's considered a challenge, right? That's why we're being challenged in this way, to be present. So if you need to do a digital detox, right? Me and my son both are going to start on Sundays, right? Giving our phones to my mom and letting her hold our phones, and, just hands off for the whole day, and allow ourselves to just really dive into self-care Sunday, whether it's, loving on ourselves, whether it's, putting a mask on the face, going to work out, creating, for me, watercoloring, painting, whatever, right? Just whatever feels expressive and healing, because Sunday is the day of healing, right? Represents healing. So it's like, although all the stuff that incorporates healing, that's what, on top of the digital detox, right? So just, something to consider, right? That will help with being present. So let's see. Spirit, what is the opportunity for the collective this week? What is the opportunity? Okay, so the opportunity is to be flexible. Okay, card number 19. Okay, so the opportunity here is to be flexible, is to not be too rigid. It's like, have an idea about what you want, but don't be so fixated on how it's going to come, when it should come, what it's going to look like. how it's going to be delivered, right? It's like that's where we mess up when we get too caught up on the minor details that we don't need to be concerned with, right? That's literally the same as knowing that your Amazon package is being delivered, but instead of you just, you know, just basking in the joy of, ah, I'm getting my package today, da da da, what am I going to do when it comes, yada yada, you're too worried about who's driving the car and what do they look like and what time are they coming and are they driving real fast? Are they going to come blasting music down the street? Because some of my Amazon drivers do that. But you know what I'm saying? Is just, you know, some of us get caught up in the wrong thing. Okay. And that's where the opportunity for you here is to be present. Okay. Allow yourself to be flexible. Things may not happen exactly as we intended them to, but just do your best to trust and know beyond belief, but know that as long as you allow yourself to allow the be some, you know, give the universe some leeway, things can be delivered not only faster but even to a greater magnitude than what you were expecting, like even coming, like being whatever the result is, being way better than you anticipated because you allowed that wiggle room, that little bit of flexibility to be better than you thought it would be. Okay. Happy is at the bottom. You see what I'm saying? It's like when we allow ourselves to just let the universe do its thing on our behalf and trust that it's always moving for our benefit, right? Things will turn out better than you expect. So let's see. I'm going to clarify this energy with the tarot and see what other messages come up for us. Um, yeah. So let's see. Spirit for the collective. What's going on for this week? So what is the theme energy, Spirit? What is this leg up energy about for the collective? Clear, accurate messages only, please. Whoa. All right. So we had two that came out. We have the Seven of Swords and the Four of Swords. Okay. So some of you, a lot of mental energy here. Some of you, this feels like an energy of someone that Scorpio energy is here at the bottom. So this represents major changes, transformation, things that are shifting in a major way, right? It feels like some of you, whatever the support is that's coming, it's like you're really being guided to keep it to yourself. Okay, with this the Seven of Swords, Four of Swords energy, that's really like a hidden, um, you know, really kind of like not constricted, but like concealed. Thank you, Spirit. It's like it's giving me a real concealed type of energy. So some of you may be guided this week. If you're getting, let's say you got mailed a check that you weren't expecting, right? This is not the time to go bragging about it and telling everybody what happened, right? And what you just received, right? This is about allowing yourself to just bask in that moment and meditate on the fact that, you know, this is happening, that I don't need to sabotage my success, that I don't need to be afraid of, you know, receiving, right? This is really allowing yourself to know that, like, I deserve this support. I deserve to be provided for. I deserve to be helped out sometimes. I deserve to be assisted where I need it, right? That's that energy here. So so for some of you, there's really an opportunity here, energy of really not letting your mind get the best of you, not letting the thoughts that come to you that are not yours to kind of take over and run the show. Okay. It's really important to really allow yourself to do things differently, because what the support that it feels like is coming for some of you is life changing. Okay. It's going to be like, I feel like some of you are really going to, it's giving me a vibration of like breaking down, like coming down to your knees and just like in gratitude, just crying in gratitude. Like, I can't believe this shit happened. Like, I can't believe that I'm receiving this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how powerful this feels right now. So take it as it applies. But some of you, you're being prepared right now. Okay. Spirit, why is here and now here for the challenge? It's like some of you too, to support yourself. If you know that, like for myself, if you know that you're one of those who tends to get to overthinking and overanalysis paralysis gets the best of you, this is the frequency of how you can support yourself in allowing the support that you need, is learning to take time to meditate, learning to take time to give your brain a break. Okay. And that goes, first of all, being really intentional, right? With your words, um, the things you say, the requests you make, right? How you communicate to the universe. Okay, that's where you start, is being intentional with your words. What do you intend to get out of this? What do you want to happen, right? Allowing, that's how you direct the energy. And you know, for it to help you. So let's see, Spirit. What is here now? Why is it here for the challenge for the collective for this week? Why is here now here? All right, so here and now is clarified. We have 3 cards that came out. So we have the Emperor, okay? So this is Aries energy. We just talked about that, okay? Some of you may be in Aries. Aries may be a sign of significance for you this week, okay? Like I said, tomorrow's a full moon. So Aries energy followed by the 5 of Swords and followed by the 2 of Swords in reverse. A lot of Swords energy here, okay? Out of 5 tarot cards, 4 of them are Swords. So a lot of mental energy, it feels like, is very prominent this week, collective. So be mindful of your thoughts, okay? I feel like it's really important to make mention of that to remind you that the thoughts that you think are not all yours, okay? At the end of the day, a lot of the thoughts that we get are not ours, and you're not supposed to keep all of them, okay? You take the ones that feel beneficial, that matter, that mean something, that you can act on, that feel inspirational, that feel inspiring or motivational or whatever, right? That feel healing. You take those and use them. The other ones, let them shits go, okay? They're not for you, all right? So let's see, Spirit. Clarify flexible. Why is it here for the opportunity? Why is flexible here for the opportunity? And what I'm also getting here now is that whatever blockages that some of you have, been feeling like you've been up against, that's gone. Okay, the blockages have been removed. Now it's just about the waiting. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like you've done your part. Now it's just about letting the rest play out. Let the universe do its part on your behalf. You see what I'm saying? It's like you've already put in your order. Now it's just waiting for the delivery, right? Literally the same thing. The same way you're able to release the anxiety that you may feel over when you buy something online, that's the same way you're being asked to utilize this present moment and being more present to receive what you're asking for, okay? To really allow yourself to be in your power. That's where your power lies, is in the present moment. With the Emperor energy, that's about your independent, your innate, powerful, personal power energy, okay? Being your own sovereign authority over your life, okay? The masculine energy, that is the authoritative figure in your own experience, okay? Your power to really embody that is by being present, not being too focused in the past and not being too focused on the future, but in the right here, right now. That is where your power lies, okay? And I feel like some of you needed that reminder, okay? That you feel that some of you are at your best when you're present, right? Even if the present moment stresses you out, even if it brings a feeling of anxiety or a sense of worry, allow yourself to feel that and then let it go. Put yourself on a timer if you need to, right? For me, that has been very helpful. Especially for those of you that can resonate with, ADHD symptoms, things like that, or, being challenged in those ways. It's really helpful. Timers are helpful, right? Because our thoughts can just take us and time will disappear like, it's like it doesn't exist, right? And so timers, by giving yourself like a 5-minute timer, 10 minutes if you need to, right? To just feel whatever you feel, let it go, release it, deal with it however you feel guided, and then move forward with your day, right? That way you're honoring, you're human, you're honoring, the experience, you're not bypassing it, right? But you're not also not wallowing in it. You're not, you're not marinating in it. Okay. So let's see. Spirit, what else for flexible? Why is that here for the opportunity? It feels like some of you, this has to do with work, okay? With whatever you're doing for business, whatever it is that you're putting your time, energy, and effort into, whatever you're growing, this is going to really benefit you by being flexible, okay? By not being too rigid and too strict with how things are playing out, with what are you wanting from the experience, okay? It'll benefit you better that way, okay? So interesting. So clarifying flexible for the opportunity, we have the 7 of Pentacles that came out, followed by the Empress. Interesting how the Emperor and the Empress have come out in this reading, and the 3 of Wands, okay? So this is beautiful. This is literally indicative of, being flexible, because your abundance is what's requiring it. The abundance that's coming into you, that literally 3 of Wands, the Empress with the 3 of Wands, this is literally what you've been asking for, literally moving towards you as we speak, like literally, okay? So this is why Spirit is saying be flexible, okay? Some of you may have been like thinking like, this was supposed to come by now. I was supposed to have this by now, right? give the universe a little grace, okay? Because it feels like by you doing that and not getting upset with the universe, you're allowing that energy to expand even further and greater than it would have otherwise, okay? Which is allowing in more of what you've asked for, right? Making it even more like expansive than you initially anticipated, than you initially expected. It's like because you weren't. It's like because it's like, okay, slow down, spirit. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Woo. It's literally the example the spirit is giving me. Okay, is literally like, let's say you bought something to support a small business, right? And the small business, has a lot of orders, right? So it may be taking them a little bit longer to get your order shipped out, right? And because you didn't email them, rushing them, you don't calling them and be like, where's my stuff? How come, what's going on? You didn't stress them out in that way. They decided, well, because this person was so patient, knowing that like I'm, by myself, I'm doing the best I can, da da da. I'm gonna give them a little bit. I'm gonna give them what they ordered and a freebie or a couple of freebies, some samples. You know what I'm saying? And then you're just like, holy shit, I'm glad I didn't rush them because they probably wouldn't have, given me not only what I paid for, but all the other stuff, to go with it, right? Just for the simple fact that I gave them that flexibility to take their time, right? And that's what I'm getting here with this is that the more flexible you are with the universe, the more the universe is going to grace you in abundance, okay? Meaning giving you plenty of what you're asking for, okay? Because abundance, you can have an abundance of anything. And that's where I feel like a lot of people get caught up with the abundance thing. People don't realize you can have an abundance of lack if you're not careful. That's why you have to be specific in what you're asking for and your requests, right? You can't just say, I want abundance. Abundance of what? I could give you an abundance of lack. You could have plenty of lack. That's what abundance is. It's having plenty of something, plenty of what you need when you need it, right? If you can have abundance of lack, just like you can have abundance of wealth. You can have an abundance of negativity or an abundance of happiness and joy, right? That's up to you. So I feel like it's really going to benefit you this week, collective, to really do your best to be present and, focus on more on what is going well versus what is challenging you, okay? Because all that's going to do is add fuel to the fire, okay? So we do have the Seven of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So this is literally about, this is about knowing what you know, standing 10 toes down on that. When you know that your stuff is coming because you decided so, energetically speaking, there's nothing that can stop that, okay? That's how powerful you are. So you have to just do your best to decide by, again, being in the present moment, decide, meditate on it, visualize it, okay? Spend a few minutes a day, first thing when you get up, right before you go to bed, right? Visualize, how do you want this to play out? You get to make that decision, okay? That's literally how powerful you are. So by you allowing yourself to embrace more of that is what's going to allow, again, what you're asking for to come, not only quicker than maybe you anticipated, but in a greater quantity than you requested, okay? And that's like getting the best of both worlds, essentially. So let's see, what is the overall message here, spirit, for the collective? What is the overall message for the week ahead? So we have the Nine of Swords, and that came out sideways, okay? Followed by the Knight of Cups. So this really feels like an energy, what you're really being guided to do here, guys, with the Temperance at the bottom, is really do your best to alchemize any stress or anxiety that you may be feeling at this time that's coming to you. That's happening with intention. It's happening on purpose, right? Meaning it has a reason for why it's there, okay? So it's just up to you to do your best to block that out and instead drop into your body, drop into your heart space, and let your heart guide you. And when I say heart guidance, I'm not speaking of emotions, okay? Let's not get this twisted. We're not talking emotions here. I'm talking about heart led, meaning your heart is going to lead the way regardless of, if it feels how it feels, right? Emotionally, it's like your heart is going to pull you in a way where you can't ignore it. It's not going to let you bypass it. It's not going to let you, it's not going to just quiet down, right? It's going to pull in such a way where you can't ignore it, okay? And that's what it feels like is really going to propel you forward this week, okay? Is to really do your best to block out the thoughts that are trying to hold you back. Your brain is supposed to do that, okay? Your brain is doing its job by protecting you, right? So that's why it's important to, know how to work with that energy. When you know that you're doing your job, but it's not helpful right now, right? You got to learn how to cut that off, how to block that, give it a boundary, right? And that is the frequency this week, okay? Is, not letting those thoughts that are coming to you, right? You have to learn how to block them out, okay? And literally allow your heart to guide you, because that is what's going to be honest with you. That is the truth your of your life's purpose and journey, and the direction that you're to be going in this lifetime is led by your heart. Your heart knows what direction that looks like, okay? So the temperance energy with the Ace of Wands followed by that, this is literally about like I said, alchemization, okay? Being patient with the process, and as things, doing your best to stay balanced, right? That's how you maintain balance and equilibrium, is by, when these energies and frequencies come through, right, instead of taking them on as your own, you learn how to block them out. You learn how to decide, I hear you, I see you, but you don't have no place here. I acknowledge your presence, but you're not welcome here. You see what I'm saying? That is how you mitigate the negative thoughts, the thoughts of anxiety, the thoughts that make you worry, the thoughts that make you concerned, fear, right? Fear of the unknown, the fear of scarcity, the fear of lack, fear of failure, fear of success, all that shit, okay? All those thoughts that get us like, you know what I'm saying? This is going to be really important this week to block those out. So when you feel like, I asked for this a long time ago, or like, let's say you apply for a job, you haven't heard anything back. Instead of letting yourself get stressed out, you decide, no, I don't have anything to worry about. Maybe they have a lot of applicants, and they need to, and they're like, maybe that's part of their policy. They have to go through all of them before they make a decision, right? Even not knowing, though, they've already chosen me. I've already been picked, right? But you have to decide that on an energetic level. Until it's set in stone, it can change, okay? It's about whatever frequency is stronger. So if the pull towards worry and concern and fear and it not working out is stronger than the frequency of it working out, I don't have anything to worry about, it's happening in my favor, everything is going my way. If it's stronger than that, then that's what's going to win, okay? So it's up to you to decide how you navigate this energy when it presents itself. But that's again where the opportunity is here, in being flexible, okay? Allowing the universe to show you what is possible, all right? And allowing your heart to guide you towards what is really going to make you happy, okay? And not doing things just because someone else wants you to. We're not people pleasing this year anymore, okay? We're beyond the people pleasing, okay? And that's again where this temperance energy is gonna be very helpful for you this week, okay? To really do your best to temper yourself. When you're balanced, it makes it more difficult for outside energies and frequencies to throw you off, okay? And the more you're able to stay balanced, the more your desires and what you need can come to you, which then also puts you in a better space to be then able to help others as needed, okay, without overwhelming yourself or being depleted. So I feel like it's going to be really important for you, collective, this week, to really allow the universe to help you in the way that in the ways that are coming to you, okay? um have healthy boundaries, execute them, okay? We're not being, letting people walk all over us, okay? We're not being nobody's doormat, okay? Or punching bag, right? But again, when you're allowing yourself to be balanced, that is the example that shows others what it's like to be balanced, and also shows them that, you see how I'm cool over here, don't bring that over here. And it makes it easier to determine, to differentiate someone else's bullshit from yours, someone else's problems and negative energy versus your own. You see what I'm saying? When you're in a balanced state, it makes it very easy to see when other energies come to you, if it's you that's actually exuding something, or if it's energy being projected, okay? That it helps you to be aware when you're able to see these things, when you're operating from a balanced place, okay? So let me get one more. We're gonna get one card from my deck, Sign Synchronicities Oracle deck, okay? And see what sign or synchronicity that may be prominent for you this week, whether it's a spirit animal or something like that, your ancestors, whatever sign that they're going to show you this week, okay? And you can set the intention for if that's the sign that you want them to show you when it's needed, okay? So let's see, Spirit, for the collective, what is a sign or synchronicity that will be important for them this week? So we have two that came out. Ooh, with the snake at the bottom. It's so funny because this snake literally looks like my own. Literally, my snake Penelope. Same orange. Beautiful. She's fat. She's a fat girl now too. It's so funny. So So with the snake at the bottom, transformation. Okay, like I said, we already spoke on the death card earlier, and here we are again. This is literally that same energy at the bottom. Okay, so it's going to be important for you this week, collective, to really do your best to ground yourself. Okay, ground yourself through the changes, ground yourself through, the upheavals and the things that are shifting your experience. It feels like a lot of us are going to be going through shifts that we have not experienced before, meaning you don't always know how you're going to respond to things until you're actually in the situation. We a lot of us have this preconceived notion about how I would respond if I were in this said situation. And we think that until you're actually in it. And then that's when the real comes out of, how prepared you really are, right? How much do you really trust yourself, or how much do you really trust the universe, right? To, support you. So, first one that came out is electric outlet. Okay. So some of you may, it's important to make sure you don't burn out this week, that you're mindful of your energetic levels. Okay. Your energy levels, meaning a lot of us are only allotted a certain amount of energy every day, right? And so it's important to start really gauging what you're giving your attention to, what you're literally paying your attention to, whether it's consuming online, doom scrolling, whatever, right? Be mindful of the energy that you have every day, okay? Because that's going to play out into how much energy you have for what you need to get done the following day as well, right? If you're slowly just letting your energy go and leaking it to different places, next thing you know, you're going to be burned out and it's going to be difficult to recover. Been there, done that many times. That's why, I'm telling you from experience, okay? So, keywords: be mindful of self-sabotage. Okay, that's also that Seven of Swords energy here coming out again. So be mindful and aware, okay, that you're not sabotaging your own success, your own progress. Okay, some of you, like I said, you're getting help that's coming in, and some of you may be kind of blocking yourself off because energetically you don't have the energy to respond. You don't have the energy to maybe show up to the opportunity, right? So again, this week is going to be really important to be mindful of your energy levels, so you're not overexerting yourself. And then when it's time for you to show up for something that you've been asking for, you're nowhere to be found because you're sitting at home recovering, right? So just something to be mindful of. Let's see, home wiring maintenance. So some of you may need to do some check your electricity, your electrical wiring. Okay, I'm also hearing the box, the box, the electrical box. I can't think of what it's called right now, but that has all the switches, right, to your house, right? The box. I can't think of what it's called right now, but anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, you might want to check that. Too many tasks at once. Take a break. Burning stick at both ends. Practice fire/child safety. So also, those of you, I'm also getting those of you who have toddlers. If you have toddlers, make sure that you're plugging your outlets with those little plastic pluggy things. Okay, as a child, I didn't have those, and I almost shocked the fuck out of myself. I was upset with. I'm gonna tell you a real fast story time. When I want to say, I was like maybe five or six, something like that, like real young. My dad was finally back in town from being out to sea, and he was watching basketball while ironing his clothes, and I wanted him to play with me. And my mom, I think, was at work or something, and he was ironing his clothes and watching basketball. So obviously, he wasn't trying to pay attention to me, and I got upset, right? Because I'm the only child. I was the only child growing up, and my parents never really played with me. They didn't take me to the park much or played board games. Like, we just didn't do shit like that. And so I, in my attitude, little self, I got upset, and I was like, you know what? And I had little like play keys, right? And so I, in my, imagining myself getting in my car, and I'm driving away now. Like, I'm leaving because you don't want to play with me. Fine, bye, And so I had stuck the key in the socket, right? And turned it, and it sparked, and I jumped back. Like, I took my hand off of it so I didn't get shot. But it sparked, and it turned off all the power in the house. And so my dad's like, Jasmine. And he's never, been that type of parent to put hands on me. Like my mom, she was the one who disciplined me like that. So, but anyway, he was like, you sit down and wait till your mom gets home. Like, I couldn't do nothing because he got scared. He was scared that, I could have took my own life basically. So that's why he was upset. He was more scared than upset. So anyway, like I said, make sure you're protecting, okay, your kids from getting shocked on by accident. So let's see. Shocked, electrocuted, shock factor. Okay, so some of you, this is also embracing your own shock factor. Some of you, your it factor is being activated this week. Okay, so next card is the moth. This is again another card about transformation. Like I said, this is a really fucking powerful week. I'm trying to fucking tell y'all. I'm trying to tell you, this is really powerful, transformative week. Okay. Major Arcana, Major Arcana, and Major Arcana at the bottom of the deck. Okay. And the Death card is prominent in this reading. Scorpio energy. Okay. So if maybe you're dealing with a Scorpio, that could be of significance. Some of you are a Scorpio watching this reading. However, it, you know, maybe where your Scorpio placements are could be another prominent, given, like I said, that the full moon is tomorrow. Okay, literally. So this is again about releasing, making room for what you're asking for. This is the time to do that. Okay. So Moth speaks of attractive, that to that of a flame. Okay, so some of you, like I said, your energy is magnetic. You're really drawing people in, drawing in new opportunities, drawing in energies, frequencies. It's going to be important to have healthy boundaries. Okay, not everybody's meant to come with you. Not everybody is meant to embrace your energy and be able to, like, you know what I'm saying. I'm not going to say that. It just sounds so arrogant. So anyway, shine, embrace your uniqueness, transformation, again, hidden knowledge, information, feminine / moon energy. And I'm recording this on the moon day. Today is a moon day, so just saying. It's no mistake this came out of 88 cards. Let's see. Need for shadow work. Third eye, crown chakra. Trust your intuition. Seek guidance within. That's again that Four Swords energy. Meditating, okay? Meditating on maybe what to do, okay? If you're confused about what direction to take, or when an opportunity presents itself, should I do this or not? That's how you'll find out. All the answers you will ever need will always be within you, period. It's just a matter of if you believe that to be true, and if you are willing and open enough to receive the answer to what you're asking, okay? Let's see. Seek guidance within. Growth. Can't skip steps. Some of you, that's, you know, part of this as well. Some of you may be trying to skip steps to thinking that's going to take you further. That's only going to slow you down. Okay, so that's again self-sabotaging energy. So be mindful that you're getting the support that you need. But if you're trying to rush the process, or, you know, take shortcuts, things like that, it may not go the way you think it will. Okay, just saying. Find your voice. Exactly. So, I feel like I said, your voice lies in blocking out all the thoughts and, you know, beliefs that tell you it's not important, that tell you you don't matter, that tell you you're not good enough, or it's not going to work, or we already went through this, it's going to happen again. Whatever the thoughts are, block them out this week. Okay, this is a time to really embrace what you want, what you prefer, versus what you're actually observing. If what you're observing in your circumstances is not what you want, stop focusing on it. Okay, I'm not saying bypass it and act like it isn't there. I'm just saying stop giving it your energy. Okay, you can acknowledge something's presence without feeding it, without paying attention to it, without actively engaging with it. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference here. And that is again what the temperance energy is. Moderation. Okay, when you learn how to moderate that, where you can acknowledge something is there without feeding it, that's where your power lies. Okay, that is how you take back your power. That's how you take back your sovereignty. That is how you take back your energy, and allow yourself to allot it to what you actually want. Okay, versus what you don't. So that is what I have for you. I trust this reading was supportive to those who needed it. If you did enjoy it, if it did resonate, I would love to hear. Please drop a comment in the comment section below. Consider subscribing to the channel if you have not. Like the video so it circulates out to the rest of the tribe. I love y'all so much. I hope you love yourself as well. And until next time, we outie.